The Innovative Global Solutions Enterprise was reimagined as IGS in 2015 to address technologically underserved areas. We're a student-led enterprise giving students real-world, hands-on experience developing and supporting such projects, with a mission to improve the lives of individuals around the world. We currently host under our enterprise 3 different projects: an infant incubator designed for sub-Saharan Africa, a medical tent with improved environmental control, and an emergency respiratory filtration system.
The infant incubator team is focused on creating a low-cost, low-power neonatal infant incubator for the use in the target region of sub-Saharan Africa, which is currently the largest demographic of infant mortality in the world. Sub-Saharan Africa currently struggles with medical infrastructure and financial resources to support access to incubators primarily used in the United States and across Europe. This project helps to address the critical neonatal care technological barrier and to help create a low-cost, low-power device which can provide an affordable and accessible care to premature and low birth weight infants in the specific region. The team was started in 2020 and has been working on the 5th version of the incubator design with goals of moving towards functionality testing and the implementation of the device in the long term.
The Medical Tent Environmental Controls Team, or as we call it MTAC, has the goal of creating a system that improves the environment within medical tents with a focus on the Tornado Alley area. Our solution is a radiator system that's capable of heating and cooling with an LED fixture that would be able to regulate the temperature, lighting, and sound to improve the quality of life for all people inside the tent. That includes both the patients and providers in those emergency situations. Since our founding in 2023, we have been developing our radiator system and are currently working on our 2nd iteration of the project.
Hi there, I'm Maddie Bauman, a 4th-year biomedical engineering student and team lead for the Emergency Respiratory Filtration System. We're working to develop an oxygen filtration and delivery device to prevent smoke inhalation and infection in infants and immunodeficient patients during emergencies, such as wildfires or use in sub-Saharan Africa. Existing CPAP devices cost between $3,000 and $10,000, so our goal is to create a more affordable solution priced between $800 and $1,000 to improve accessibility for healthcare providers in developing countries. This project began in spring of 2024 when the need for a low-cost, effective filtration device was identified. In fall of 2024, the team began researching relevant standards, and by spring of 2025, the first prototype was created, followed by a second prototype which was developed by a separate capstone team during the summer of 2025. Building upon these prototypes, the current team has integrated new components and ideas with existing processes to develop an improved prototype which has been tested under a variety of conditions to ensure reliable performance.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm a 4th-year biomedical engineering student, and this year I worked on the filtration team for our project. Our main goal this semester was to move the filtration system from in the testing phase to a place where we can get measurable data. That meant not just improving the design, but also making sure the system could reliably test under realistic breathing conditions. We upgraded the fan, redesigned the airflow tubing, replaced our single filter with a compact bacteria filter and a foam pre-filter, and switched to a medical grade mask. We developed a structured testing plan that started with simple qualitative tests using smoke, dust, and tissue particles to observe airflow and filtration. These tests showed that the system can successfully pull air through the filter and reduce the particles. One of the biggest challenges we found was leakage around the casing edges. Even though our filter is performing well, we need to fix the seal to improve overall performance.
Hi everyone, I'm Randy Roberts, a 4th-year biomedical engineering student completing my capstone on the controls team for ERFS. This year, the primary goals of the controls sub-team were to properly integrate a motor unit, implement a battery pack, and merge all subsystems into a single cohesive product. The team began by selecting a 24-volt brushless DC blower. We did this because preliminary testing showed that the previous 12-volt unit did not provide sufficient airflow. To achieve a fully integrated 24-volt design, all previously used components were carefully evaluated to ensure compatibility with the new 24-volt power source. This process included creating a table of peak voltages and currents, followed by selecting components that met those specifications to minimize the risk of failure. Key components included a 24-volt to 12-volt step-down converter, a motor driver, a dial, and an in-lamp 5-amp fuse. In terms of testing, the controls team's primary objective was to ensure seamless operation without interfering with the work of other sub-teams. To support this, the prototype was passed to the filtration team for evaluation. Prior to handing off the prototype, several benchtop tests were performed. During this phase, the DC-DC converter failed at the 5 amp output, although the 24 volt output remained functional. This allowed the blower to continue operating, but independently of the microcontroller.
Hi there! As well as being team lead this year, I have also been working on the casing sub-team for our capstone project. The main goal of the casing this year has been to develop, construct, and test the third model of our design. We have chosen to keep some components of the design which work well, but many features have been updated or improved to create a more robust and user-friendly product, and the team has tested the components to determine their effectiveness and usability. This year, we have added 2 locking mechanisms to adhere to the ISO standard 80369. The size of the casing was also greatly reduced after reorganizing the layout of the internal components, and the prototype was constructed in PLA filament using the Enterprise Bamboo 3D printer. We've had worked to create robust testing strategies which allowed the team to determine any possible failure points. The main categories being tested have been strength as well as compatibility with internal components. The design challenges that we've found have been air leaking through the filtration system because of the casing containing the filtration, as well as the handles which attach to the straps on the device are too weak for the repetitive use of the device and need to be more robust.
Our future goal is to use advanced tools like particle counters and pressure sensors to complete quantitative testing and see how well the system really works.
Our future goal is to integrate pressure sensors so that airspeed readings can be displayed on the LCD screen, along with implementing cutoff mechanisms to prevent excessively high air pressure. These improvements will help ensure that the device meets established standards while maximizing patient safety.
Moving forward with this project, once the team has worked out the minor accessibility point dilemmas, they should begin to look into the production of the casing to create a seamless product which can be produced at a large scale rather than simply 3D printing each individual unit. This will likely involve injection molding.
One thing I learned as a capstone student is the importance of testing early and often. Even our simple test reveals problems that we didn't expect, and finding those mistakes early help guide design decisions moving forward.
One critical skill I developed is the importance of thorough documentation. Even ideas that seem insignificant can become valuable later. Maintaining clear documentation not only helps organize your thoughts, but also enables others to understand and replicate your work.
The main thing that I've learned throughout my time in Enterprise is the importance of clear communication with team members. With multiple sub-teams, there are always different timelines to meet, which you may not be directly involved with, but the team needs to be able to work together to meet those goals.
We would like to say a big thank you to our advisor, Dr. Manser, for supporting this project and our work throughout our time in the Enterprise.